Y'all are ready for this reveal or what? They're literally right behind me. Should I show you? Yo guys, I want to give you a preface for this video because this video is going to be way different than all my other videos. I haven't done much at all with like gear videos, building different things, tweaking different things, painting things. I had this huge project I decided to do, just kind of a side hobby, and I found these sick drum shells that I had to make into something special. So it had some challenges along the way. It didn't turn out how I thought it would, but here's how it went. What's up? I'm freaking stoked! This is gonna be sick. So I have this drum kit. It's right behind me. Boom, 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 boom. All of those brown shells were stained, and this has been a project I've been working on honestly for like 6 weeks or something, of like ordering parts that long story short, got the shells for 50 bucks off Facebook Marketplace, and they needed like so much work that I had to replace like the swivel nuts and the hardware and the lugs, and like there was like a hoop or two that I had to replace. Also, this snare drum, I was giving a lesson at one of my drum students' houses, and they had that in the trash. So I was like, y'all gonna use that? They're like, no, you can have it. So I took that, and it just needed like some new heads and snare wires. So I put like 30 bucks into that. I got it all up and rolling. This one is a mismatch, but it's got the super cool long tension rods. Risen Drums was a huge help in making this happen. And these hoops are like from Risen Drums. So these are sick. They're like just wood. It's gonna look sick. I've been fighting with what color to paint this. I want it to be like super sick and flashy. Some people were telling me like, oh, it's good how it is. I'm like, it's all right. I want something that like is like a head turner. Like my other kit's a freaking light up kit. We gotta go ham. So I found this paint online. It's like iridescent color change paint. Like if you look at it from one angle, it's like different colors. It's kind of like rainbow with a black base. But I don't really know what I'm doing with that, so we're gonna see how that goes. And I got the box of paint here. Black, just normal like spray paint. And then here's the magic stuff, this like color change holographic aerosol paint. So I'm kind of a noob with painting, and hopefully this video kind of shows that if I can do it, you can do it. So first, we have to take off all the hardware on this. It's gonna take forever, so here we go. Wow, that was exhausting, and that took about an hour. As you see, I have everything lined up with its corresponding screws and lugs. I like to be like super organized with stuff like this. At this point, I'm going to actually, I wouldn't recommend this, but I'm going to paint over the bearing edges. I think it's just gonna be way easier as opposed to like taping it all up. And then I'm going to sand the bearing edges down a little bit because these are really old, like kind of vintage-y drums. As you can see, they're probably from the 60s or 70s, so some of the bearing edges are rough in some spots, so I've been wanting to sand them anyway. So I'm just gonna paint over them, save the time, because I'm gonna sand it anyway, and then let's get the glossy black coating on it, and I'm hoping it's gonna look really cool with the wood grain, so still have some natural element to it. And then after that, I'm stoked for like that sparkly, iridescent, holographic look. So yeah, let's paint these drums. This is a ton of work. Okay, the second I started doing that, I was like, holy crap, I need a mask. Round two. All right, so I did one coat, and the wood like didn't take the paint as well. I'm sure there's a bunch of people like cringing as I'm doing this whole project, like, you should have painted with like liquid paint instead of spray paint. I don't know, who knows? I don't know what I'm doing, but that's the fun of this. So therefore, people who don't know what they're doing can just do this if it works out. So I'm hoping it works out in the end, so I can like, you can do this process on whatever thing you want to paint and make look epic. But we can solve this by just doing another coat. So I'm just gonna do another coat. Here we go. All right, oh, dang it. Well, here's how the second coat is looking. As you'll see, the, better lighting over here. The metal took the paint like way better than the wood did. If I could do this again, I'd probably just paint the drums with like gloss black paint that's not spray paint, like just liquid paint, and do it with a brush or something, but it's looking better. It's getting there. I might even do a third coat, to be honest. But here's how it's looking. So you can like see part of that old brown color in there, but I think one more coat of black looks just beautiful. That's working out really well. So I had a thought. I'm really impatient and I want to test this like holographic paint. My buddies and I go nerfing sometimes. So I'm gonna paint my Nerf gun black and then paint it with that holographic stuff because I feel better about myself when my Nerf gun's cooler than everyone's. All right, now I'm gonna begin the first coat of the holographic color change paint. Let's go. All right, I have the first coat of this color change stuff, and I'm not super impressed. It's working though, but I'm definitely gonna do one, hopefully 2 more coats. And something's happening with the snare here. I don't know where that blotch came from. It looks like I don't really know what happened there. What the heck? It does say to use 2 or 3 coats, so hopefully this starts turning out. Well, I am done with, I did like 3.5 coats of black gloss, and then I did 2.5 coats of this color change stuff, and here's the final product. I'm kind of let down a little bit. I'm even like debating, I'm like, do I even post this video? What's up, guys? So I thought I would just quick interrupt the video basically to say I was fighting with whether I should post this or not, and I think it's important to also share like the bad moments when things don't go perfect. This kit totally didn't turn out how I was expecting. It's honestly not as like flashy. It's not what I like envisioned in my head. But the process was important, and I learned a ton through it, and whatever I do next is gonna be better, and I learned a ton, so I just think that's important to share. I hope this like inspires you as well to not only post and share like your best moments with people, but this was kind of a real moment for me that I don't always share this stuff, so yeah. They did not at all turn out what I thought they'd be. I thought it'd be much more vibrant and like flashy, but yeah, I don't know. Here they are. Ended up fixing that blotch on the snare drum. I just had to paint black and then put the color change stuff over it again. It's just, wow, super white. I don't know. It's just not as flashy as I was looking, so maybe it just needs like the right lighting on it or something, and maybe it'll look cool with the hardware over it. I don't know. All right, so all the drums are done and brought downstairs and ready to be sanded around the bearing edges so the paint doesn't get all over the heads. I was kind of bummed about them when they were in the garage, but under better lighting, it's pretty gnarly. They're not as like, oh my gosh. So here's another dumb moment where I freaking dropped the drum and like you can hear it, like just go replay that part, and I literally like snapped like the reinforcement ring on the top like came apart on one part, so I didn't get this part on footage because I was just like so flustered and frustrated, but I had to like glue it and then clamp it and wait a little bit. So moving forward, just know that happened in the meantime there. Don't be an idiot. All right, back to the video. I just freaking dropped it. It's actually looking a lot better. It's not as like flashy as I was hoping, but it's definitely got, look at that rainbow like sparkle on certain angles. So it just depends like the angle, but I think it's a super cool, unique shimmer while not being like too flashy. So this might be the perfect kit for, I don't know, someone looking for something like that. Time to sand the bearing edges so the paint won't like scrape off and ruin a bunch of drum heads once the heads are put on it. Then we can put it back together and see how they look. Let's go. That was super tiring, but like the bearing edges, you can barely see that, but got the paint off the bearing edges and they're super smooth. Like I'm not even nervous to get like splinters, and I actually think this is working out great. Most people recommend, and I would probably recommend against painting over bearing edges, and I think the paint kind of filled in a lot of those gaps, and then sanding it just smoothed it. So I'm stoked about these. I think they're gonna tune up really great and like hold the drum head very evenly. So should be pretty easy to tune and sound good. I'm stoked. Let's put them together. Can't forget a blanket. Yo, so if you're anything like me, you probably, definitely, most likely want to hear the drums now. Enough like looking at them and putting them together and painting them and putting them together and more putting them together and just let's hear what these bad boys sound like. I'm pretty stoked about it. Well guys, that's it for this video. If anything, I hope that it inspires you to just be genuine and to just do things, get things done, move forward and learn from them. So that being said, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and...